Have you ever been in a place in life where you knew what you needed to do, but you didn't know how to do it? Have you ever faced a situation where you knew that you needed others to help you succeed and you didn't know where to find them? Come along on a little journey with me. I'm going to tell you a little about myself. I'm going to tell you a little about business networking and some really, really great benefits. My name is Dr. Mike Winkels. I'm owner of Winkels Chiropractic Functional Medicine Center in Rochester, Minnesota. I'm also an engineer. I worked for IBM for 24 years as a test engineer. I had a very small problem. I could fall asleep anytime, any place. The day I hired on with my manager, as he sat there and talked at me, I fell stone cold asleep in front of him. It's called chronic fatigue. It finally caught up with me in my middle 40s. And thanks be to God, I found chiropractic and functional medicine care. It saved my life. As a faith-based decision, I felt called to help others as I had been helped. I ended up quitting my IBM engineering job and I went to chiropractic medical school. I undertook advanced chiropractic technique training and I undertook functional medicine training. And when I finally graduated after 3.5 years of agony, I felt that I had a good grasp on how to provide patient care with advanced chiropractic and functional medicine care. But then I started to realize I graduate in a month and I don't know how to run a business. I have no idea how to manage day-to-day operations, how to manage an office or anything. This brings us to the second topic of business networking. I started shadowing doctors in the area and I had the wonderful privilege of meeting a rather flamboyant and intelligent man named Dr. Ed LaQuire. He owned a clinic here in Rochester and he invited me to join his clinic. I now had a friend and mentor who would help me get going with chiropractic. He also introduced me to this idea called business networking. He and a friend, Chaz Wilson, had just that year formed a new organization called Master Networks. And it was a different approach to this thing that he called business networking. He invited me to visit a chapter. And it was a lot like visiting my Toastmasters chapter. The very first time I was in that room, I saw a group of really high caliber individuals who knew what they were doing and yet were struggling, and they wanted to help each other succeed. I realized that Master Networks is a process. It's a process of training. It's a process of colleague relationships. What an incredible privilege. These people all cared about their businesses, but they also cared about each other. Well, I graduated on a Friday in November of 2011, and on the following Tuesday, I joined my first chapter of Master Networks. There were only 7 of us in that room, but we established colleague relationships and we did a lot of high quality training. And it actually gave me a clue. How do you get this business off the ground? How do you do any of this accounting stuff? How do you do any of this? And these friends wanted to help me. That brings us to today. Today, I'm a member of the Rochester, Minnesota, Thursday noon Rock Stars. Our membership numbers have actually gone up and down a bit, and we're one of the smaller groups. But we are one of the most firm groups you will ever encounter. Everybody there is, first of all, committed to all of their clients before they're committed to the profit of their business. They're really, really good in their business as well. And when I walk into that room, I am surrounded by a group of people whose first desire is to help me succeed. It's a beautiful, wonderful place to be. It helps me have the courage and direction to actually be able to deliver that care to those patients. Well, this brings us to you. Are you a Master Networks member? I join you. I encourage you. Dive in and be faithful to the process. Be faithful to those colleague relationships. Be faithful to the process of training. Be faithful to your meetings. And you will encounter benefits that you never imagined. Are you a visitor? Are you somebody who just needs some help? Do you desperately need to have people around you who can help you? I'll encourage you to visit a chapter. The things that are happening in the Rockstars are happening in dozens of chapters around the world. Yes, Chaz, we are an international company. Visit your chapter and see if these people might help you to get off the ground so that you can succeed.